Have you ever felt like you were living a life that looked right, but didn't feel right? Like every choice, every goal, every version of success you chased wasn't really yours. Before you ever dreamed for yourself, someone else handed you a script. A set of invisible rules that told you who to be, how to act, what to value, and what not to question. You learned to earn love through performance, to confuse approval with connection, to wear masks so well, even you forgot what your real face looked like. But somewhere deep inside, there's a quiet rebellion. A part of you that's tired of performing, tired of seeking permission to exist. That whisper you've been ignoring. That's your truth, asking for its turn to speak. Because the moment you stop performing for acceptance and start living in alignment with who you really are, that's the moment life stops being a stage and starts becoming yours. The early conditioning. Cultural and family conditioning doesn't announce itself. It's quiet, consistent, and convincing. It starts early. You're praised for obedience before you ever learn self-expression. You're rewarded for achievement before you understand self-worth. You're told what good looks like long before you develop your own definition of it. If you grew up in a family that valued success, you might have learned that rest equals laziness. If your culture prizes respectability, you might have learned to silence your individuality to maintain appearances. If you were raised in survival mode, you probably learned that emotions are dangerous and that love must be earned through performance. By the time you're an adult, these lessons are automatic. You make decisions that aren't really yours. You follow rules that no longer apply. You chase approval from people who don't even understand your soul. You're living by a script written by others' parents, teachers, religions, traditions, society, and somewhere along the way, your own story got lost in translation. Daily struggles. The result of all this conditioning is internal conflict. You feel torn between loyalty and truth, between comfort and authenticity. You want to grow, but guilt pulls you back. You want to speak, but fear silences you. You're stuck between gratitude for your upbringing and frustration at how much it limited your freedom. Every day becomes a negotiation. You say yes when you mean no. You downplay your opinions to avoid confrontation. You sacrifice your peace for belonging. You hide parts of yourself because someone once told you they were too much. You start living small so you won't threaten anyone's comfort. This constant self-editing drains your energy. It's exhausting to maintain a mask that no longer fits. You begin to resent the roles you once played with pride. The peacemaker, the provider, the overachiever, the good one. The invisible expectations. Every culture has unspoken rules. Don't question elders. Be humble. Don't outshine others. Work hard, no matter how you feel. These rules are passed down not because people are malicious, but because they were taught the same. They learned survival through obedience and passed it on as wisdom. But what was survival for them may be suffocation for you. There's an entire generation of people living lives that look successful but feel hollow, trapped between progress and tradition, between independence and duty. You can't fully celebrate your growth because part of you fears you're betraying where you came from. The performance of identity. Many people confuse their personality with their conditioning. You think you're naturally quiet, but maybe you were just taught to stay silent. You think you're selfless, but maybe you learned to please others as a way to feel safe. You think you're strong, but maybe that strength was built on suppressing your own needs. Conditioning makes you mistake adaptation for identity. Here's a hard truth. The parts of you that win the most approval are often the least authentic. The version of you that everyone loves might be the one that's been performing the longest. But you can't heal while playing a role that demands your silence. You can't grow while protecting the very image that keeps you small. The turning point. There comes a day when the performance collapses. Maybe it's burnout. Maybe it's heartbreak. Maybe it's the quiet realization that no amount of approval makes you feel at peace. Whatever it is, it cracks the illusion. You start noticing how much of your life has been scripted. You see that your ambitions weren't all your own, they were borrowed dreams. You realize that even your definition of happiness was handed to you. That awareness hurts at first, but it's sacred, because now you can begin to choose. This isn't rebellion for the sake of chaos. It's reclamation. You're not rejecting your family or culture, you're reclaiming your right to individuality. You're saying, I honor where I came from, but I get to decide where I go next. By the way, if this message is resonating with you, I've put together a free resource to help you explore it on a deeper level. It's a collection of short, powerful summaries and guided prompts designed to help you question the scripts you've inherited and start writing your own. You can grab your free copy through the link in the description. It's my way of helping you take the first step toward living life on your own terms. Strategies for improvement. Freedom from inherited scripts doesn't happen overnight. It's a process of noticing, questioning, and rewriting. You don't destroy the old story, you learn to edit it with truth. 1. Audit your roles. List the roles you play: daughter, son, leader, provider, friend, parent, caretaker. For each role, ask, did I choose this, or was it chosen for me? Then ask, do I still want to carry this role, or am I ready to release it? This isn't about abandoning responsibility, it's about redefining it. The goal isn't to stop caring, it's to stop performing. 2. Name the source of each expectation. Every expectation you carry has a source. I must be perfect might come from a parent who feared judgment. I can't rest might come from watching others equate exhaustion with worth. When you identify the source, the belief loses power. It stops feeling like the truth and starts looking like a choice. 3. Separate love from performance. You may have been taught that love is something you earn, but love built on performance is not love, it's control. Practice giving and receiving love without conditions. Say to yourself, I am enough even when I'm not useful. Say it until it feels real. 4. Challenge cultural absolutes. Cultures shape values, but values can evolve. Question the absolutes you've been taught. This is how it's always been. That's just how our people do it. Progress begins where curiosity replaces blind loyalty. You can respect tradition while still thinking critically about it. 5. Write your own script. After identifying what no longer fits, start crafting a life that does. Define what authenticity means to you. Write down your new values, not as declarations, but as living intentions. I will choose peace over performance. I will measure success by alignment, not applause. I will honor where I came from, but never let it cage me. I will honor my relationships, but I will prioritize my alignment. I will stop sharing my vision with people who only see through the lens of their limitations. I will trust my intuition, even when it contradicts the advice of those I love. I will no longer seek permission from those who have never walked the path I'm choosing. I will protect my plans until they're strong enough to stand without validation. I will stop shrinking my ideas to fit the comfort zones of others. I will stop performing stability to soothe others' fears. I will no longer confuse loyalty with silence. I will share selectively, not secretly. Your new script should sound like your voice, not an echo of anyone else's. The liberation in honesty. When you stop pretending, something incredible happens. Life gets quieter but more real. You stop overanalyzing every choice. You stop editing your words to fit someone else's comfort. You start trusting your own instincts. The relationships that remain are stronger because they're built on truth, not image. You begin to see love, not as something earned, but something exchanged freely. You stop performing and start living. And perhaps most importantly, you stop fearing who you are becoming. So pause here. Before you turn the page, ask yourself, what role have I been performing that no longer fits? What truth have I been silencing to keep others comfortable? What would it feel like to stop performing and start living? You don't need anyone's permission to begin. You just need your own honesty. But once you start questioning the script you were given, you realize something deeper. It's not just the story that shaped you. It's the need to be approved for living it. And that's where the next trap begins. The silent addiction that keeps you performing, even after you've outgrown the role. The early seed of validation. It starts in childhood, long before you're aware of it. You learn what earns a smile, what earns a frown, and what keeps peace at the dinner table. You learn that your emotions make people uncomfortable, that your curiosity can sound like defiance, that your individuality might be too much. So you adapt. You learn to perform safety. You suppress opinions to stay accepted. You become agreeable, predictable, and easy to manage. Adults call you mature, but really, you've just learned how to hide. You begin to unlearn who you are and start mirroring the world around you, just as they taught you to. Daily struggles. Approval addiction isn't dramatic, it's subtle. It shows up in the quiet compromises you make every day. You say yes when you want to say no. You laugh at jokes that offend you just to avoid awkwardness. You spend hours crafting a social media post, then delete it because it didn't get enough likes. You measure your worth by feedback instead of fulfillment. You dress, talk, and even think in ways that fit what's socially acceptable, terrified of being misunderstood. You replay conversations in your head, wondering if you said too much or not enough. You overanalyze silence, assuming disapproval. But here's the hard truth. Every time you silence your truth to stay accepted, you teach yourself that belonging requires betrayal. You reinforce the lie that peace can only exist through performance. The hidden root, fear of rejection. At the center of approval addiction is fear, not just of being disliked, but of being abandoned. That's why it's so powerful, because it's connected to survival. When you were younger, rejection felt dangerous. Being accepted meant security, being disapproved of meant isolation. That wiring doesn't disappear just because you grow up. Your body still reacts to disapproval as if it's a threat. But emotional adulthood means rewriting that story. Rejection doesn't kill you anymore, it just reveals who's not for you. You're not a child needing safety, you're an adult needing truth. The more you internalize that difference, the freer you become. The social mirror. Then there's social media, the modern marketplace for validation. We've built entire identities around algorithms. The number of likes, views, or followers has become a public scoreboard for worth. It's not about sharing anymore, it's about performing. You post what looks good, not what's real. You measure your joy by engagement. You start adjusting your authenticity to fit trends or opinions. It's no accident that anxiety, comparison, and low self-esteem have spiked alongside social media's rise. We're constantly being watched, measured, and judged, even when we know the likes are hollow. But here's the irony. The more approval you chase, the less peace you feel, because external validation can never satisfy internal emptiness. You can't outsource self-worth. When approval becomes a trap, approval addiction turns into a trap because it rewards behavior that keeps you small. You get praised for being agreeable, so you stop being honest. You get attention for being impressive, so you hide your flaws. You become addicted to applause because it gives you momentary relief, but it never gives you identity. And the worst part? People start loving the mask, not the person. They love your performance, not your presence. You end up surrounded by people who like your filtered version while your real self goes unseen. You feel connected but not safe, visible but not valued, surrounded but still alone. That's the quiet tragedy of approval addiction. It gives you connection without intimacy. You're seen but not known, liked but not loved. The turning point. The shift begins when you finally get tired of pretending. When the exhaustion of keeping everyone happy outweighs the fear of being misunderstood. It might come after burnout, a breakup, a confrontation, or simply waking up one day and realizing you've built a life that feels fake. You realize you've been chasing the wrong kind of peace, the peace that comes from compliance, not authenticity. That moment hurts, but it's sacred. It's the beginning of real alignment. You start asking, who am I when I'm not performing for approval? Who am I when I stop negotiating my truth for acceptance? And as you begin to answer, something shifts. You stop fearing rejection and start trusting solitude. You realize that clarity doesn't come from being liked, it comes from being honest. Strategies for improvement. Breaking approval addiction isn't about becoming indifferent. It's about detaching your worth from validation. You don't stop caring about others. You stop sacrificing yourself for their comfort. You stop trading truth for peace. You stop abandoning yourself to be accepted by people who don't even see you. 1. Notice your triggers. Every approval seeker has triggers, specific people, situations, or words that make them shrink. Maybe it's authority figures, family expectations, or certain social settings. Start paying attention. When you feel the urge to adjust yourself to fit in, pause. Ask, what am I afraid will happen if I say or do what's true? Awareness breaks autopilot. 2. Practice small acts of truth. Start small. Speak up in a meeting. Share an unpopular opinion respectfully. Tell someone when you disagree instead of smiling through discomfort. You don't need to burn bridges, just build courage. Each honest act retrains your nervous system to feel safe in authenticity. Truth doesn't need to be loud, it just needs to be yours. 3. Redefine acceptance. Real acceptance isn't earned, it's mutual. It's not people approving of a curated version of you, it's people choosing you as you are. Start measuring relationships by depth, not approval. Ask yourself, do I feel seen or just tolerated? If you have to perform to belong, you don't belong. 4. Detox from comparison. Limit the spaces that reinforce performative worth. That might mean taking breaks from social media or unfollowing people who trigger insecurity. Fill your environment with voices that value depth over display. Curate your inputs the way you decurate your friendships, with honesty, not envy. 5. Rebuild self-trust. Approval addiction erodes self-trust because you constantly outsource decisions. Rebuild it by keeping promises to yourself, small ones. When you say you'll rest, rest. When you say no, mean it. Consistency with yourself builds inner credibility. Self-trust is the foundation of inner approval. Without it, you'll always chase applause. 6. Replace applause with alignment. Ask yourself daily, am I doing this for approval or alignment? Approval feeds ego, alignment feeds peace. The difference is subtle but profound. Alignment often brings discomfort first, peace later. Approval brings comfort first, emptiness later. Choose the long road. It's the only one that leads back to yourself. The price of approval. When you build your identity around being liked, you lose the ability to be real. You start editing your emotions to stay lovable. You filter your dreams through other people's comfort zones. You suppress your needs until resentment builds. And when you finally break, the same people you tried so hard to please rarely understand. That's the cruel twist of approval addiction. It keeps you chasing acceptance from those who only like you for what you give, not who you are. You become visible but invisible, surrounded but unseen, loved but only conditionally. But peace doesn't come from keeping everyone comfortable. It comes from choosing truth, even when it costs you applause. The freedom of discomfort. When you stop chasing approval, you'll feel discomfort at first. You'll worry that people are judging you. Some will. You'll lose connections that were built on your compliance. That's part of the process. But slowly, you'll start attracting people who value honesty over harmony. Conversations will feel lighter because you're no longer managing impressions. You'll realize that discomfort is not danger, it's detox. It's your nervous system adjusting to authenticity. Solitude will feel sharp at first, but then it will feel sacred. You'll stop fearing rejection and start recognizing it as clarity. Truth always brings turbulence before peace, but the peace that follows is permanent. The shift from being liked to being aligned. Being liked is external. It depends on mood, opinion, and projection. Being aligned is internal. It's rooted in conviction, clarity, and self-respect. You can't control the first, but you can live from the second. Alignment may not make you popular, but it will make you whole. It teaches you that you don't need permission to exist as yourself, that you can disappoint others and still be in integrity. That rejection doesn't define you, it refines you. When you live in alignment, your yes means yes and your no means no. You no longer seek validation, you radiate conviction. People may not always understand you, but they'll respect you. When you stop trading truth for approval, your relationships change. Some fall away, others deepen. You begin to feel lighter because you're finally living congruent with your values. You realize that approval was never the reward, it was the distraction. The real reward is peace. So say what you mean, live what you believe, love without performing. Let people misunderstand you if they must. Because the moment you stop chasing approval, you start living freely, and that's when your truth finally becomes your home. If this video resonated with you, I want to invite you to go even deeper. You can get a free summary of my new book, The Unfollowed Path, right now. The link's in the description, or just head to Level Up Now. Inside, you'll find tools, prompts, and reflections to help you break free from cultural expectations, inherited scripts, and the quiet pressure to perform. You'll learn how to reconnect with your authentic self and design a life that's yours, not one written for you. This video draws directly from the core teachings in the Unfollowed Path. Escape the trap of cultural expectations, inherited scripts, and performative success, crafted to help you deconstruct external definitions of success and rediscover who you are beneath them. Carry this with you. You don't need to earn permission to live differently. You only need the courage to follow the path that no one else sees yet. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one, and don't forget to subscribe.